cyber operators of Finnish and Kim, please introduce yourself.
The founder and president of Fermita Cyber Solution, a company infrastructure, mainly institutions, but I'm very proud. Israeli National Cyber Bureau, when I had the role of leading I believe is
Great.
David Chartier, Conomicon, bad trend of naming. Now I'm back in Finland. It's called Novasano, so.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Kim Westerlund. I'm the Chief Development Officer. Been doing cybersecurity. Nixu is a pure play cybersecurity services company in Northern Europe. So. Also a member of FISC.
FISC is Finnish Information Security Cluster.
Yes.
To clarify the term. So, thank you for being here. So, if we are considering Finland as a cybersecurity country, what brings to this brought up? What do you think about Finland? Maybe you start, Rami.
the first thing that I think about Finland is countries in the world while we are speaking. Proud to be here in Finland and to take place about it.
Okay. I've been highly involved with building out a very interesting national model with built a huge amount of automation into what they're doing. Interesting way, very safe environment. Secondly, it's a lot of smart people here, so it's the area, which as an employer is always great because you have a good gene pool of people to hire. So it's really the government and
Kim, what do you think?
Yeah, of course, I am a
You
Finn.
are coming from Finland.
I am Finn, so I'm looking at Finland from inside, and that's of course a bit different.
Quite interesting that you are in that sense you are starting to a bit different angle of the discussion.
Yeah, for example, we have been and what kind of cybersecurity companies are there, and security services market has been quite mature compared to many other markets. For example, here customers compared to some other markets, and also I think that big because it's very hard to say the leading one or biggest in Europe. Name one. We have been quite a long time, and we haven't found a position is still open, and we are dedicated to take that place someday.
in the worldwide level or
I
European level?
I would, as running a cybersecurity company from Finland, you know, abroad, because Finland has a very good reputation. It's a fairly concept, so tremendous support from the government out there abroad. So for saying the companies from Finland, obviously having good products that solve real problems, that doesn't hurt either.
Mm.
Business perspective, you know, I've only seen advantage of being anywhere in the world with it, so it's good reputation.
How about you, Rami?
I'm coming from a country that we have more than 500 companies, startups dealing with cyber, and at least 2 well-known companies all over the world, Checkpoint and CyberArk. And when I started to work at the National Cyber Bureau, the first company I heard was Cognomicon.
Thank you.
And lecturing in the GCSP in Geneva, I met with F-Secure. Finland, I had so many meetings already. I met with Nixo, because and I see that you take it very seriously. I see that you have very professional people. Cyber TV, the Cyber Watch, which
We
I'm
probably
really
have
jealous.
100 companies focusing on cybersecurity here in Finland. So
I do say that and these days we are going to have, and we are having, new kind of attacks. So there is, and I believe that at the end, only big companies will survive, because people and any company would not like to work with 10 startups. They would like to work with one integrator or with one well-known company. That's why I do believe that cooperation is a must. Of course, you are Finnish people, so you will find technology that is not existing because you didn't do it before, like the Israeli technologies. I believe that there is a huge field of cooperation, and I'm ready to do it.
good.
Is definitely Israel in the startups scene. So many good companies come from Israel to the cybersecurity space, and product companies. They of course sometimes they solve a very narrow thing from the cybersecurity space, but they are also there are possibility for much faster growth than again like services and integrators and so forth. So any hints how could we seen as you have in Israel within cybersecurity?
In Israel, every good thing starts with the military, with the Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Train so many people to deal and have their hands on cyber. People who are leaving the military after their compulsory. Where are they going? They are going either to the industry or they are going to the academia, which I believe this is but we found out in Israel that we don't have enough people to deal with cyber. Penetration test, IT penetration with the critical infrastructure. So we have to train them. And in Israel, first of all, we started to have a huge levels on many years. When you are 10 years old, when you are 15 years old, while you are 16 before going in
So like a long-lasting.
But I'm very proud to say that in Israel we have for the last as a master degree faculty. It's like the Technion. They're open to. We know
cyber startup exit years or what?
So, on that side, you need to solve a real problem. You know, if you solve a problem, have a well-run company, there's a number recommendation to all these, any start thing that you can repeatedly sell to many. You can only sell it.
Could
with
you have a
that.
break-up in it worldwide with the Codenomicon, make that as a 20,000 employees and build it in a very huge company? Would that be possible?
I mean, it would be possible, but the way, if you look at the venture market, is the venture investors want to have liquidity events. And then you can go on a track to have a trade sale or an IPO. Obviously, type of investment. So if you want to go for an IPO, typically you get more investment in because you have to do more. So it's really what type of investment profile you get. But definitely you can build companies, you know, and you have to figure out what do you want to do with your startup when it gets big.
Yeah.
And, you know, these are fundamental things. And, you know, if you solve a real problem and make it scalable and well run, people come knock on your door and buy it. Believe me, this happens.
What do you think about the Nixus future? They have 300 people. They are present in 10 countries or so.
Well,
and
at my former job, I was looking to get into that business, and I agree.
Is their future going to be that they're going to be sold out with your experience, or
well, I think
could they survive by their own?
I think it's
global-wide
I think
leader.
you need a European player in that market because it's way too fragmented today, and there's a lot of scale, economy of scale for large-scale consulting. At my previous company, we bought a very large. There's a definite need for it, and there's a lot of scale once you get bigger that the smaller players can't have because they don't have enough people. So I think it's a market.
Yeah.
A startup is a dream.
Yeah.
When you start your own startup, you look at as founders, you would like to grow up and make a huge company. Like the dream that happened to Checkpoint and CyberArk. If you're an investor, you're looking for a quick ROI. I would like to have my return on investment 4 times, 10 times, this is fine. So you need, first of all, of course, to solve a problem. And then you have to identify where are you going. The main issue with startups is most of them are looking at a very, very narrow area. I believe that these companies who are looking to solve only small problem, they will not grow up. And they are looking to be acquired by somebody else. If we are speaking about Nixus, they are doing quite well. Maybe they will decide that they are growing and growing to be a world leader. But you know, sometimes when you look at your dream, suddenly Santa Claus is coming and say, listen, I'm going to offer you $2 billion. And then you have to make a decision whether you are going to have it or not.
Is that your dream or is it something else?
Yeah. My dream is, first of all, to come out with a solve problems in the critical infrastructure that nobody else is able to do it. Why is it so? Because when you look at many of the companies, you will find that the concept is very similar. There are that are relevant for the old war. I'm 10 years. I'm looking to work in a solution called whitelisting that 200,000 new malwares or APTs came to the market. And I believe that companies with a dream and with the capability to do it, meaning to come with new technology, they will be the solution. If we are speaking about company like Nexu, I think that what they have done is exactly what is going to be a successful issue. What is the problem of the existing CISO, Chief Information Security Officer?
Today.
He is going to RSA exhibition. He is going in one place for 2 weeks or for 3 days. He thinks that he is going all over, but as a matter of fact, he is in one corridor. He sees 4,000 or 5,000 companies, and he's confused. He
Yes.
doesn't know what to do. Second,
see.
he doesn't have the budget. So everybody, I believe, will have their own small stuff, but they will need security as a service. And I think this is exactly what you are doing, and more than that.
And I think that the approach that we have had in Finland has been quite good in the sense of security, that we have a very limited budgets. We don't have we can some IT budget and then maybe 8% of that goes to cybersecurity, and that is fragmented into so many areas. So we everywhere. We have been very used to look at the key assets and key controls and measures for that, and so Finland has a chance in becoming a world leader in security. Then again, support this to become the
Like in Israel,
Yes.
they're doing a great job for the supporting.
so of course build awareness from pretty long military in the society as during the military service. We don't have the same big changes here, but then I have seen quite a lot of American startups grow from kind of this public sector funding, that they have actually some three-letter organization buying a solution and kind of seed funding in that way, that hey,
being as a reference and
reference. Have this problem, solve this problem, and you will get 1 million. Your first reference and seed funding, and then you can go out and sell it to the rest of the world. I think that's also an interesting model, and I think that Finland.
But we have done something else. We spoke about support by our government. We have the new Israeli Innovation Authority, used to be called the Office of the Chief Scientist, Ministry of Economy. We have a special mechanism, a platform, how to support startups that were identified as real disruptive technology, has decided to take a risk of 50% of the, and they understand and realize that we on the cyber them especially, and the result
watchers there that who are they're going to be new entrepreneurs and they're going to put up their small SME area. They should start to seeking for their problems, what they should solve in order to be successful. Any recommendations for them?
Of course, if they want to.
Maybe we let David start.
Yeah, I mean, you always do better in an area you have understanding in. So if you have a deep understanding of a certain sector, I'd start there. There's literally cyber problems in every vertical you go to. And I think Rami made a very good point here, is that when you're looking, you just don't want to solve a very small problem. You want to solve something that you can easily move to other industries. And I think this is incredibly important, because if you just do something very small, it can't be very big.
That's right.
So I think what you need to do is start with your strengths and look at how you can really roll that out once you get going to other industries. Because every industry I go to, they say, "Oh, we're special. Yeah. We don't do it like that." And in reality,
and they need to have a passion.
They need to have
dream where they are aiming at.
But in reality, the problems you see are pretty similar across verticals. The vocabulary might be different, maturity is different, but go with something you know and then try to make it big.
Good.
I try to identify new technologies are having a need for cybersecurity. So that's why we started to hear about Israel as a main country dealing with connected cars. Cybersecurity for them. And we have, I think, today about 10 companies dealing with it. We are speaking about medical device. They've identified it, a big area, which is, I believe, is going to grow up as quickly as possible. We are speaking about weapon systems. Weapon systems are usually not secured.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that they will be secure, because you don't want a squadron of F-35 flying to a mission and suddenly all the engines are stopped.
And somebody takes control over
somebody takes control.
remotely.
So, and the amount of radio interfaces in all these aircraft is tremendous.
Yes.
So it's a huge attack surface. And I mean, this gets me on a completely different thing, is on security testing these weapon systems. That really needs to happen.
And the civilian transportation is getting higher and higher, low cost. You need to protect these things. So you have to identify, first of all, the market and find out whether you have a solution to this market. Even if you have a dream, start with this dream about and find out whether you can do it or not.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you have something to add on?
Yeah, more of a joke. If you are after the venture capital, then at least include blockchain and artificial intelligence, and you will secure at least some nice funding. But in addition to that, I think that like you mentioned, both really important topics. In addition to those, I think that hooking up with the big data ecosystems could be one growth path, because enterprises, they tend to go with these Salesforce and ServiceNow and Microsoft Office 365 ecosystems, and providing a solution to a specific problem there. If they have also a global marketplace and a customer base already, and no kind of implementation struggle, like you don't need to implement anything, you can just push it to the cloud and you already have a marketplace and an infrastructure, and that's an interesting area. And then there's an option that Microsoft will buy you if it's very good or Salesforce.
If you cannot grow by yourself, let Microsoft buy you out. So there's, in a sort of conclusion, that wherever the digitalization is ongoing, there's a cybersecurity, so there's always possibilities. Great, it was nice to have this discussion with you, and thank you for the visiting in Cyberwatch channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.